Hi students, welcome to this video session. My name is Samuel Chukwuemeka, as usual. In this video session, we shall continue with our design of a basic 4-function calculator. In this video, we shall use a group box. It is highly recommended that you view the videos in the playlist in order. So we click on VB shortcut here, and of course this will be a new project. In this case, the last one we did was 2, where we used the combo box. So we shall name this one Samdom Basic Calculator 3. And here we shall use a group box. So let's go ahead and design the interface. Let's rename the form text Samdom Basic Calculator -group box. The group box is used to organize controls. If you look at the common control, it is not in common control. So you click on container, of course, like we did in the previous videos. When you click the first time, it will expand it. If you click again, it will collapse it. We talked about controls. So this is the group box here. If you point your mouse at it, it says it displays a frame around a group of controls with an optional caption. So we shall use the group box to organize our controls. The controls that we shall use with it will be radio buttons. We are going to look at another way we can do that. And we want to make the form, the background of the form, we want to if we want to make this bisque, what we can do is this. Okay, we can just select something. Now, instead of typing the RGB values, the red, green, blue values that we did in previous videos, we can go ahead. If we know the name of the color, we can just go ahead and type it. Like, let's say we want our background to be bisque. Assuming we want it to be bisque, we just type it and we press enter, and it is bisque now. So let's go ahead and we get our text box, just like what we did in previous videos. Let's have our first text box here. We name it first number text box, first num. We have our another one, and we can call this second num. We have our label, put a label. As usual, let's rename this label first number. And we change the font like we did in previous videos. Book Antiqua, bold 12, and we just copy and paste. Copy, paste, and this will be our second number. We can extend this text box, align it to that. This will be our second number. We go to the text, change it to second number. Okay, the next thing we want to do is to now get our group box. We go here, we double click, brings up the group box. Now when it brings it up, you don't click it. If you click inside and drag it, it's not gonna drag. So you go to the edge where it has these arrows and you drag it. Let's drag it to be in line here. Then let's extend this a bit. Let's look at the group box, the properties we want. We can change the text to arithmetic operations. Remember, it says it has an optional caption text. So change the text to arithmetic operations. We can change the background color to olive. So what I just need to do is I just click here, I delete bisque, and I just type in olive. See how VB is very nice, right? I can change the font. Let me change this font to Bell Empty. Let me make it bold, 12. Okay, there you go. And the font color, let me leave the font color that way. So this is the group box here. You will see how it arranges stuff. Inside this group box, I want to now add my radio buttons. So I double click, get the radio button, bring it here. First button. And what I can actually do is to extend this group box. And I can now extend this right here. Kind of make it neat to be in line. Okay, so this is the first one, radio button. And this radio button, let me call the first one the text. I name it as add. Okay, add button, add, just call it add. And I can change the text. I want to change the text to I want to change the color of the text, so the F4 color, I just change it. Either I type the color or I just look for a color that I might like. Let me use white. Yes. And what I need to do now is I just copy and paste. Again, paste. Again, paste. Kind of align it well. So this first one, I will still call it add button. It's still a radio button. The group box is I will call it add radio button. It's still a radio button. The group box essentially is just to organize it. That's what the group box does. And another thing as we move on, you will also see what it does. The second one is selected. I will call it subtract. Subtract. And I will change the name to subtract radio button. Third one, I change it to multiply radio button. Multiply radio button. And the text I change to multiply. Multiply. Then the last one I changed to the text to divide. And I changed the name to divide radio button. Okay. So the group box is just arranging this control in order, you know. Okay, the next thing I want to do now is to, if you look at the group box, There is no button essentially. It is just arranging it in order. Any control you want to use, you can just put it in the group box and then use it. If you look at the group box, there is no button to control it essentially. Now, if you click here, there's no button, but if you click here, it can control these controls if you write the code well. But we want to what we want to do is to now put a button. We've got to put a button instead. We want to put a button that would rather control what we have here. So that is what we want to do. Let's arrange this again properly to align. Okay. So with the group box, it is very important that you put a calculate button. Remember, when we did this with buttons, each one had its buttons. But now we would want to put our calculate button. Let's align this. Okay. So we select a button and we can call this button, let's align it with this one. We can say calculate. Calculate as the text. And we can rename it to calculate button. Okay. What we can do again, we can change the font to Bell empty bold 12. Okay. And we can change the background color. Let me change it to green. Okay, and let me change the fore color to yellow. See that? Okay, so I want to do this again for the exit button. So I copy and I paste. Okay, copy and I paste. And what I need to do here now is to just change this to exit. And I will call this exit button. So, all right, I think we are set to go. So, how would this work? When we put in the numbers here, we put in a numbers, first number, second number, then we select a radio button, we click calculate. So we need to have a display. That's good. We need to have a display. And in this display, we can just use a read-only text box. Remember, we said if you must have a text box as display, then you must make it read-only so that you cannot be able to type in there. So we extend this. And we will just name this display text box. And of course the text, there's no text. We just look at read-only property R and make this true so we can type in there. Okay, I think we are set to go. When we put in the first number, put in the second number, select a radio button here, any one of it, Of course, radio buttons allow you to make one selection at a time. And then you hit calculate, then the result will be here. And when you finish, you just click exit. We didn't put our clear button, so let's go ahead and put our clear button. We add another button here. Okay, we really don't need to add this button because we want it to be the same. So what do we have to do? Just copy this and paste it here. And call it what? What do you call it? Clear. So it has the same properties like the other one. And we just call it the clear button. Okay, we are good to go. So now, what is the operation? Remember, we are not using this group box to do the execution. No, it's the button, is the event. Clicking this button will be the event, not clicking the group box. The group box is just to arrange the controls. So when we click this button, what do we need? So we double click this to open the code window. And of course, as usual in the form, since you're going to use this, you have declaration like we've been doing in other videos. Dim first num, second num, result as double. Okay, we got that. Then in the calculate button, if you click on it, what is it? So for another, the next thing is to what? Assign. How do we assign? We have that our first num that we have declared. Let's just assign it. This will be first num text box dot text. Okay, and then second num will be second num text box dot text. All right. That's the assign. Then the process it. Okay, what do we want? We will enter values here, enter double values here, enter double values here. Then we will click on a radio button and then click calculate and it will display. So actually this will be process and display. All right. If you look at this now, with this, in the previous video that we did radio buttons, we didn't need to write any conditional statement. We talked about conditional statements when we did the video on combo box. So please view that video before this one. And but now when you group these radio buttons together in a group box, then you will have to use a conditional statement. You have to, because you will have to click one at a time. So, and we, if I have to repeat this, we go to my website as usual. We did this in the previous video. So you go to my website and technology, Visual Basic. These are the apps we've built so far. If you look at it, the last one was combo box. So please view these videos in order. It's very important. We said that this is in resources function X, resources, and it's conditional statements, right? Conditional statements. And we talked about this if then statement, if then else, if then else if, okay, and the select case. Now we, like I mentioned in the previous video, in this case we need the if then else if, because we have multiple cases. If then else if, we have multiple statements, so we can use it, or we can also use if then, you know, one by one. We can still do that. If then and if then and if, we can if then and if, we can use this one at a time. We can either use that or we can use if then else if. then the last one will be end if. So I prefer to go with this one like we did in the combo box. So we go ahead and get it done and write the code. And this will be that if add radio button dot checked, when you check it, dot checked is equal to true, then you see that's the code you have to use. Then what's gonna happen if you check the add radio button? So if the add radio button dot checked is equal to true, then what do you want? What do you want? The result will be equal to first num plus second num. Okay, and you want the display to be you want the display text box, display text box dot text to be to now read the sum is concatenation symbol result. That's what you want. Okay, this is what you need here. Okay, so let's try this first, and if it works, then we can use that we can complete the other statements. Now, like I told you, you can use if, then, end if. In fact, you can copy this and do it again. You can do that, or you just use if, then, else if, then the last one, end if. So please review this again, review it again. Okay, let's run this and see how it looks like. So we run it. Enter the first number. This is to the left. We are going to align it to the right later on. So assuming we have a negative 25 and negative 25, of course, it will give us negative 50. If we select this, add, and hit calculate, gives us the sum is negative 50. Wow, it works. Now, but we have not written for subtract, multiply, divide. We don't, I mean, assuming we do it, you see nothing will happen. Okay, so let's close this, okay? And let's go back to this form, set this guy text align to be right, and set this guy text align to be right. Okay, so this works. This works. So what we have to do now is we can either copy this and do that individually, or we just use else if. Else if. Okay. Else if subtract radio button dot checked is equal to true, then the result will be first num minus second num. Okay, and then the display text box dot text will give us the difference is, and the result, concatenation symbol, the result. Okay, so we can now we can go ahead and copy this and do that for the other ones. For the multiply, we get it, and the next one, divide. So this one is multiply radio button. Okay, dot checked. And this will be times, and this will be product, and then this will be divide radio button, and this will be divided by, and this will be quotient. Okay. Now, the next thing we want to do is, we have finished this. This is for calculate, okay? This will take care of calculate. Now, the next thing we want to do, we now go to clear. If we hit clear, if the clear button is clicked, what do we need? We want this entry here to clear. We want this entry to clear, and we want this entry to clear. So what we need to do is we have first num text box dot text equal to empty string, second num text box dot text to be empty string, and the display text box dot text to be empty string. We want if it clears, we want the cursor to come back to this first number text box. So we now have a first num text box dot focus, and you put this. Okay. Now, the next thing you want is that you want, when you click on this button, exit button, you want the program to close, to end. Okay, so we have to double click on it. So when we click on the exit button, we want this to end. So let's go ahead and run this. We run it, and it's saying, okay, put your number. Let's put -50, and let's put -25. Then let's add it. It will give us -75. The sum is -75. Subtract, calculate, gives us the difference is -25. -50 minus -25 will give you -50 plus 25, which is -25. Okay, you owe 50, you have 25, you still owe 25. Multiply it, calculate, the product is 1250. Negative times negative is positive. And then when you click on divide and you click calculate, then the quotient is 2. You see, it works. And then when you clear it, everything clears, and the focus is back here. And when you click exit, it exits. So the next thing for us to do, since our program works, is to do what? Save it. So save from 1.vb as, I go to my desktop, Visual Basic Projects, and this will be Samdom Basic Calculator. This will be 3. Save. Okay, and after that